everywhere I've gone around the world, and I say I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm a musician, then they automatically have another level of respect for what we bring to the table. There's something here that is organic that you can't find anywhere else. You can say you're from LA, you can say you're from New York. With Memphis, you're not one-dimensional. You've got everything embedded in you. It's like a big gumbo. Memphis, you have played gospel, you've played rock, you've played jazz, you've played R&B, you've played blues, you've played country, you've played reggae.
Him to do something after that?
Yep.
Oh Lord, y'all start checking this out. Let's hit that fat D sharp 9. I'll go. Nick Black. This is Nick Black. Welcome to Verge. Yeah. All right, you ready? This is Nick Black, and welcome to Verge. Tell me, love, what can I say to make the bed, yes, on which I have lain? It's not funny or even remotely sad. I stretch my soul to make my ends melt more than any human should take on themselves, no matter my effort. My remedies turn out bad, and all I really want is for you to be glad. At the end of the day, you'll always be there to hold my hand and watch while I stare into your eyes and love you without a word. And we'll be thankful for another setting sun. We'll drink wine for the battles we've won. I'll beg your forgiveness for everything bad I've done. Baby, life is so much better when you don't focus on the funk, but on the fun. So let's be glad for the things that we've got and not be sad for the things we have not. I'll be your rocket and I'll be your launching pad. I'll be in love with you forever. Just sit back, enjoy our lives, and let's be glad. So why Memphis? What does it mean to be a Memphis artist? You've got the culture of the past. You've got all the things that have helped to influence music in this city and around the world to the point that it is now in the present. But you've also got the future. You've got the verge, where Memphis is going. So what does that make? What makes Memphis so special? What gives it that grit and yet makes it so easy to listen to? I think it is that perfect meeting of past, present, and future. The small town charm with the big city sophistication, the barbecue, and something in the water too. So today I'm going to introduce you to a wealth of talented individuals, some of them my friends, and some folks who just make plain good music.
In Memphis, you grow up in church, you know, that pretty much describes the average person, you know, average musician for sure. The church remains one of the primary viable venues to actually, you know, make a living playing music. People don't look at it in those terms, but not only, you know, the other obvious reasons, but it's also that place where people could, you know, could kind of make a living and get some experience.
In every church on every corner, there are kids who can virtually make you cry when they open their mouths. 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids. It's just something we have here in the South, in Memphis.
We have the great diva of Memphis herself, Kendall McMahon.
Yes.
And so, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about?
I'm so excited. I just can't hide it.
You get her talking about the makeup time, right? That's what you're doing.
This is my arsenal, my weapons to get my face on fleek, if you will. And I try my best, I do. But anyways, this is what I do every day. Stay in hair and makeup for like 2 hours every day. I'm just kidding. It's only for like an hour, maybe, at tops. As cliche as it sounds, I'm actually from a really small town called Bolivar, Tennessee. I started singing in church, and that kind of propelled me in a very passionate and very soulful direction. So my mom, she always sang this song called Long As I Got King Jesus. And that just always brought the house down. I asked her, I was like, how do you ad-lib? How do you like sing O's or Ah's and like croon on top of your actual performance of the song? It just amazed me that she could do that. And I feel like now I have more of a grasp on that. That was my childhood, basically. It was just gospel music. And those songs really were what has stayed with me from then on out.
Come on and tell me, girl, you got my heart, so what can I do? What can I do now? You got my heart, so what can I? You got my heart, so what can I do? You got my heart, and you know.
I grew up, graduated high school, went to the University of Memphis on a full vocal scholarship. That's really the whole reason why I'm here in Memphis, is because of this thing called sound fusion. And that was just an opportunity for me to really spread my wings as a performer and as a vocalist, as an entertainer.
My name is Kurt K.C. Clayton. I've been musical director for a lot of old school R&B groups like the Bar-Kays. I also produce records. I've worked with 3 6 Mafia, everything from Riding Spinners to Hard Out Here for a Pimp. I'm currently an adjunct professor at the University of Memphis, where I teach Intro to Music Industry, which is a music business class. She came through my class, and her voice is true Memphis. It's soulful. When she sings, you feel every note. She has that thing that we say in Memphis, not thing, but thing. She has that thing that she would sing one note and she would lean back and close her eyes, and you feel every second of that note. You feel every inch of that vibrato. You feel everything that she meant in that one note.
The heart or the soul behind my voice or my performance is the fact that I grew up in church and where I started in church. Because I feel like Aretha Franklin, a lot of these Stax artists, a lot of the soul musicians and singers started in church. But yeah, so in that respect, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I started out like that.
You got my heart, and you know. Come on and tell me, girl, you got my heart, so what can I do? What can I do now? You got my heart, so what can I? You got my heart, so what can I?
When I'm in an acoustic thing, there's a different persona. The acoustic band I'm referring to is Mason Jar Fireflies, which is the first band that I was in when I came to Memphis, and I'm still in Mason Jar Fireflies. But you know, there's just a different persona that I take on, and it's not like it's not me, but you know, it's different from Bluff City Soul Collective, which is like full instrumentation, and there's horns, and you know, sometimes we have strings, and it's just very loud at times, you know, and it requires more out of me. It requires more of an intense performance, which I enjoy. I enjoy being all these different types of performers.
Hey, Kendall, how you doing?
John. It's good to see
I want to come check out your big night.
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to be back here. I didn't even know you were going to be here.
Kendall can be a star. She has the talent and the drive, and she's special. The way I really came to know Kendall more as a singer is this conference we did called Grammy Future Now, and Mason Jar Fireflies were on the show as one of the acts we're going to be performing. So they interviewed me, and then gave it up to Kendall and Mason Jar Fireflies. But she was really just like a few feet away, and there's no amplification system in that studio, so I was just hearing her voice, and it's like, whoa, that's amazing. So we needed a singer for the ukulele band for a TV show, and I called Kendall up and said, hey, can you sing Mele Kalikamaka in the key of F?
And I did.
And we can only do it in F, so can't sing it in F, the deal's off.
Never mind, yeah.
So we've been working together on that ever since, so.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Beautiful city, so connected.
The energy here is one of, how should I say, it's kind of twofold. You have the old guard, so to speak, and you have the new guard. There are times that the new guard feels that they're not being appreciated, that they feel that they have to go elsewhere at times to be appreciated. And so the synergy here is one of anticipation, one of confusion, one of some frustration. We have the most talented songwriters, musicians, producers, engineers, artists. We don't embrace them and we don't encourage them to be creative. We don't encourage them to let's hear your new music. And that's the frustrating part for them, that they feel that they have to go elsewhere at times to be expressed and be heard on a different level.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, I'm Sebastian, lead singer, frontman, songwriter for Black Rock Revival.
We've been together for about 5 years, but the idea of this has been going along pretty much all my life. Wanting to put a black rock band together that represented the more soulful side of rock. And there's no better place to do it than Memphis, because everything is blues-based. You know, it's rock roll, history, birth, and all that comes from. So for the future, we got a tour. We're working it out with Hard Rock. We got some booking agents in the wing, so once we get our vehicle and transportation situation straight, United States, hey, look out for us, we're coming. You have to leave to be discovered. You have to leave for people to know who you are. It's not going to be here because, that's like, going to Krypton and be like, Superman is not popular, where you from? He's just another dude.
Every road you go down seems longer than before. Everything you want now seems further from the door. I don't wanna make you bleed. Well, you better not agree. If you want it, take it. 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 Get up, get up.
You really test your grit when you go out of that box and you go and see people who don't have any allegiance to you whatsoever. They will tell you the truth. There's no relation to you, Their girlfriend don't like you, their boyfriend don't like you, it's not a friend of a friend. It's just you're a stranger off the street, you came to their town, and your job is to wow them with your skill set. And if you can't do that, then you can come back, you know, to your home and come back to your great local fan base. Hopefully, I'll say, you know, they'll say we sound great. Can't wait for you to come back. And that is the response that we've gotten. It's like, wow.
Shock first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was shock.
We knew your name was Black Rock Revival. We didn't actually think you were black.
Exactly.
Duplicating what you think rock and roll is will not actually be true rock and roll, because rock and roll by nature is an act of rebellion.
There you go.
So if you're falling in line trying to mimic what it looks like, because this is what they said rock and roll was, then you're not a rock musician, because you are not rebelling against the status quo.
Right.
Memphis has been a city that we've struggled with the music business for some years. We have tons of stars from here. We have phenomenal musicians, but not as many resources. The purpose of this place is to teach artists the importance of the business and understanding how each integral part works and help them home in on their craft. That's something that we need in Memphis. You know, people can do their thing and not have to listen to what everybody else tells them. You know, everybody's telling them that you can't be done from Memphis, or you can't, you know, be successful in Memphis, or music is a pipe dream, you know, yada, yada, yada. We live by the motto, for us, by us, where artists can pretty much take control of their own career and independently do things that can help them to become successful. And, you know, if they want to take the next step to the next level, they can also do that too.
Nick Black is another one of my former students. I think Nick might have been in my first class. He gets it. He understands that you have to work for what you want. He understands that I've got to treat my fans, I've got to treat people the way I want to be treated. And once again, he has that Memphis thing, which is when you see Nick and when you see him perform and he's doing his thing, he has a way of drawing people to him. And that's what music is about, is drawing people into your world for that 30 minutes, for that hour, for that 2 hours that they're in front of you.
All you got to do is leave. Eyes wide. You don't need nobody else. All you got to do is leave. Listen to the sound.
My name is Nick Black, and I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm a Memphis native. I was born and raised here on everything that Memphis has to offer. I'm a soul musician and an R&B musician, a singer-songwriter. I produce and arrange and play. I lead a band. I just try to do everything that I need to do to make it out here in Memphis, Tennessee, and make it, out of Memphis too.
Well, they ain't worth your time, baby. love that you give was so spit down so.
I've been on the road for about 5 years now. I've learned about the things that you can't really learn about in school. How to deal with with promoters that don't want to pay you. The dynamics of being in a vehicle with the same people for over 24 hours at a time. You got to be willing to get on a stage, having driven 16 hours to a place, not having the time to take a shower, and you got to get on the stage wearing a suit and look like you just woke up. You got to look like you guys are all the best of friends every single day. As a performer and an entertainer, it is your duty. It's not even a job. It's your calling, I guess, to take them away from everything they want to get away from. It's so simple, but at the same time very complicated. Adding all of this onto having someone that you love back home. Yeah, being on the road and being married, you've got your selfish spirit that wants to be out on the road, but then you've also got the part of you that wants to provide. And there's really, I can't do anything else besides entertain and do music. Having a family to provide for is a purpose, man. But being out on the road keeps you away from your family, so there's the double-edged sword to it. It's like you go out on the road for yourself, and you end up being out there for everyone else.
And we live on, we fall, we fade, we face, nothing is wrong, but nothing is in place, try to maintain.
We're in the studio at Hope Church at the Grove Studio in East Memphis, Tennessee, and we're working on my good friend Brendan Valines' second album, his first full-length album. It's called Free. This is my partner in crime, Mr. James Bennett. I met him through the University of Memphis. We're always on the same level, and you have to find people like that to get anywhere in this industry. Even in Memphis, you have to find people who think like you and who you can learn from, and I don't stop ever learning from him. So.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I met this guy, and that relationship blossomed very quickly. He said, so I have this stuff that I do sometimes, and it's for fun, it's recreation, and it was meth. And then fast forward about a year and a half later, and we are doing it every day. I later found out that he was lying every day about going to work. May 27th, 2011, I got a call from my doctor, and he said, you're HIV positive. And I never cried about it. I was like, no, I'm not. Like, what? I've had a boyfriend for 2 years. And I was left being positive and also still with that meth addiction. That's, not a very easy one to kick. So, that's the story of what happened.
Brendan Valines and I have known each other for, probably 6 years. But we just there was never a moment where we needed to cross paths. And then all of a sudden, we started kind of seeing more of each other, and he was doing a song on the news one day, and he needed a guitar player.
It was shortly after I was diagnosed with HIV and got over a meth addiction. And we had a meeting at Cracker Barrel right over by the news station, and we talked about our lives, and I had a completely different perception of him, and he, of course, did with me. And we talked about everything that had happened, and from there it started our true friendship, even though we had known each other for for years, but it finally gave us this bond together, and I think a lot of his talent shines through my record.
So he started talking about this album that he wanted to do. He didn't even have a title for it at the moment. And, you know, all ideas like that start in like an infant sort of stage. So we talked about the album. He's talking about how he had this other CD and how he wanted to do it big, honestly. And so over the next few months, we kind of kept talking, and we got my buddy James Bennett on board to help engineer and produce. And then all of a sudden, we were in the studio. It's a great way to do it because it keeps your mind occupied, and you don't have any time to look down and be like, how far up are we? Brennan came to us and said, I want to do it on November 27th. And James Bennett and I were like, okay. But that's only 2.5 months away. And he was like, yeah, I think we can do it. All James and I had to do was bring out a little bit of the best of Brennan. He's such a great performer, man. Really is.
Look at me now, a little older, a little bolder, but I'm still down. 10 years ago, I didn't know I'd still hold on to this fear, I'd still see you around. Can't stop this train, it's pushing faster, I'm pulling harder with each day. You couldn't see everything I've done to leave it all behind. Well, it's time I lighten my load and let go of this trouble I've got to erase from my mind. I wanna be free, no exceptions, no regrets or rules for me.
Originally from Kentucky, I moved here to Memphis about 9 years ago for a full scholarship to the University of Memphis for classical piano. That's not what I'm doing today.
Yeah, man. Okay, well, so... Hello?
Hello. Sorry. Hi, I'm buying pizza.
Hey, brother. Some of my heavy influences as a child were Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. You know, I always listen to jazz. My grandmother actually kind of raised me on the Rat Pack. The plan was to move to New York or somewhere bigger or better than Memphis. But the truth is, in the time that we live in right now, you don't necessarily have to be in a larger city to get your music out there. I mean, there's social media. I mean, people get famous on YouTube now, so it's kind of like, not that that's my goal. My goal is to tour and get my music out there, but it's the livability, the cost of living, the resources here, the availability of top-notch, world-class musicians.
Yeah, we're gonna try the thing. It's just a big one. Right? Cool. Awesome.
Every time that I have thought of leaving Memphis, which has not been recently, or held back by some opportunity that's been presented to me here, that makes it kind of impossible to say no.
You ready?
Whiskey and tea.
Right. Man, I need a haircut.
Victor Sawyer here playing trombone behind Brennan Belines with an amazing band. Brennan's second release entitled Free. Very excited for this day, for this night, to celebrate all the gifts that he has with a bunch of great musicians.
There's something about Memphis that is not commercial, it's not fake, it's very organic, and I think that has heavily influenced my sound and where I kind of root my musical expression in. But I also thrive on people putting their influence into it as well, especially people that I trust and play with often.
Are we all in agreement that the hair this way is better than the hair all the way back? It gives some expressive. Of course, it's locked down right now, but it will fall.
Some artistic liberty.
It will fall. So, thank you, Pat. Did they get a seat? Yes, got a seat. What's the house look like? Awesome. Is it full? Okay, great.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, we got
yes.
talk going on. So, anyway, let's go out and knock this out of the park.
Let's kill it.
Shall we?
Let's kill it. Go for it.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Have to be there at the show. Just what's his rhythm? Right. I'm gonna walk this way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kathy Walton from WKNO-FM. You listen. That makes me happy. But what also makes me happy is that Brennan Valance got in touch with me a few weeks ago, and he said, I'm doing a concert. It's going to celebrate the release of my second CD. And I would really love it if you would come introduce me. And I can't tell you how honored and thrilled I am to be able to do that tonight. Please welcome the supremely talented Brennan Valance.
There's the surface stuff, the shows that get promoted, and Beale Street and different things like that everyone knows about. But if you can stay up late and go into little hideaway places all around town, whether they be a dive bar or a unique venue or even house shows and things like that, you will get to see some of the most virtuosic playing, but more importantly, some of the best songwriting and performing, and concentrated into this one area. Any night of the week, you can have multiple options to see fantastic things.
Memphis has never been a major label city. You have to think about it. Stax was an indie label. Someone put up a second mortgage on their home and financed a studio of young people that were in the neighborhood and looking for something to do, and gave them an opportunity to do it. And that was really the basics. It's never been huge label, already established, come on in and let us spend millions of dollars on you type of city. It's always been that same thing, always going back to the theme, grit and grind. It's always been that way, independent.
And roll it.
Marco Pave here. I'm a hip-hop artist, social activist, and educator from Memphis, Tennessee. North Memphis to be exact. I've been rapping for about 12 years now. I dedicated my life to it in the 3rd grade. I said that I was gonna be a rapper. A lot of people laughed along the way. I made a lot of crazy decisions and crazy choices towards it along the way. But I'm here now, 22 years old, about to release my first project, Perception. Today we're even at rehearsal for my EP release show, trying to move away from the typical Memphis music industry type stuff, and I'm not going through any venues. We're having a show in my house. We're transforming my house into a venue, and we're gonna change the game. I didn't grow up with my mom. I grew up with my dad. He was a single father. My mom had bipolar disorder and manic depression. So she was not able to take care of us, me and my 3 other sisters. But I've always felt way more connected to her And it was 2012. I had just got fired from a dead-end job, another job. And I was talking to her constantly. Every week I'm going borrowing money from her, just struggling, the real struggle. And she was just like, you keep losing these jobs because you're a musician and you're not living up to your potential. Like, that's not what you do. You don't bag groceries, you rap. You don't, you know what I'm saying? You're not a cashier, you're a musician. And when she said that, it just blew like everything wide open for me. And I was just like, yep, let me do it.
Hey, Marco. Say Bobby. Let's get it. Y'all know you know that. Yeah. So sing along. I'm feeling light. I'm chilling light. Hello. I'm feeling light. I'm chilling light. Hello. I'm feeling light. I'm chilling light. Hello.
I've done 2 TED Talks, one for Memphis, one for Nashville. For Memphis, I was talking about arts entrepreneurship and really making art be a viable career, thinking about it in the same conversations that we think about doctors and lawyers. I really want to connect hip-hop to the roots and show that this was hip-hop was about. I definitely want to show the younger generation, the younger kids, I'm not doing anything new. I'm not creating a new wave. I'm following hip-hop. This is what hip-hop is about. I'm following the goals of what we set out to do, to speak about what's happening, to fight against injustice, to speak about what's happening in your neighborhood.
Y'all know these words, sing along. I'ma go and get the money, I'ma go and get the cake. I'ma go and get the money, I'ma go and get the cake. I'ma go and get the money, I'ma go and get the cake. I be speeding to success, but ain't no fucking brakes. Ooh, I just wanna get that money, really gotta keep it 100. Nigga, you ain't clear till you bring that limo Sunday. No niggas got O's like bangers, that shit get stripped like honest. These bitches do not want you when you do not have no fun. I'm like, fuck this shit, they be talking. Better know it, put the wings up on my fingers, I'm the blind nigga walking. I've been killing them all. Where the fuck that coffin? Put a hater in the corner like an office. These rappers do not like me cause I beat them. Assaulted. These bitches been so sleep on me, I slip their ass on coffin. They waking up like awesome. Awesome. He made it. He finna pay my bill, bitch, your barbershop faded. I'm Molotov flaming from speaking, no, this amazing. Leaving beats with the praises. I got a son that I'm raising. I don't get no fuck what they talking. Nigga, what that shit that they be talking, if you think I'm playing, I'ma go and get the money, I'ma go and get the cake. I'ma go and get the money, I'ma go and get the cake. I'ma go and get the money, I'ma go and get the cake. I be speeding to success, but ain't no fucking break.
Hip-hop and soul are literally one and the same. Soul music came out of a turbulent time of civil rights and black oppression. It was the music of that moment. It was protest music, if you will, and it led directly to hip-hop. When soul music started to decline, hip-hop really picked up the torch in the late 70s, early 80s, and talked about everything that was happening again in this Ronald Reagan crack epidemic era. People was responding to what was happening. And then they also took it a step further to not just talk about it, but sample music from that time. And we're still doing that today. Artists like Kanye West and Jay Dilla, and these artists are sampling and connecting with the past and bringing it to the future and also the present. Blues artists told stories. They told stories about things that they have never done, and that's what hip-hop does. And a lot of times we get stigmatized because they think that hip-hop artists are the culprit in every situation. But I definitely want hip-hop to be viewed as that high art, and I want to be a spokesperson for that. I definitely want to give a new perspective and a new perception, if you will, about Memphis and Memphis rap and Memphis hip-hop.
If you talk about American music For me, it centers, the discussion centers on Memphis. I heard someone say the other day, you know, Memphis, it's a place where nothing ever happens, but the impossible always does.
When you say Memphis music, people immediately, it doesn't matter what genre it is, they immediately get an idea in their head. And it's what sets us apart from the rest of the world and the musical cities in the world, because it's something that doesn't exist anywhere else. There are a lot of cities that have the blues, there are a lot of cities that have soul, rock and roll, country, but none of them do it quite like Memphis. Music is one of those things that goes beyond race, gender, religion. It's something that brings us all together, and I really feel that the heart of that value has been a big part of that Memphis sound and how it's developed. It has defied all of those things that people often let divide us and brought us together, and we've created a very unique thing here with that in mind. Oh, is it on now? I'm Faith Evans Ruck. I got my start about 4 years ago. I had just finished nursing school. I actually had time on my hands after I'd get off work, and I thought, well, I got to do something with myself. So I picked up a guitar my dad had bought me when I was 14. I'd never really done much with, and started teaching myself and learned a few chords from some friends in the music community, and would go home and practice putting them together and transitioning between them for hours at a time. So I thought my fingers were going to bleed, and about a month in, I was like, all right, we got G, C, and D down. Learned a little E minor because it's really easy to do. And I was like, I'm going to see if I can write a song, and started trying to put them together and ended up writing my first song, Your Soul. About to start working on the third album, so it's been a lot going on in the past 4 years. Recorded my first album called 1835 Madison. I recorded that at Music and Art Studio here in Memphis with producer and engineer Kevin Houston.
A buddy of mine who was working with Memphis Music Foundation recommended me, and we met and hit it off. She's really passionate about songwriting. I think of her more as a songwriter than anything else. I'm really excited about the next project we're working on. We're going to go to Royal Studios because she wants to sort of blend some of the sort of Americana stuff she does with a more soulful approach.
The first two singles we're going to release are definitely more soulful, which is why Kevin Houston, who, as I said, has produced and engineered all my music, was like, hey, let's go do these at Royal. What do you think? Change it up a little bit, because we did the first two albums at Music and Art, and I love it. It's such a great place to record. So when he first mentioned it, I'm thinking, oh gosh, I don't know, I'm kind of a creature of habit. But then I'm like, yeah, let's go to Royal. Let's do something different. This is gonna be cool. So I'm so psyched. I'm looking forward to exploring myself as an artist and letting other people explore a little bit more of me as an artist. So I recently changed jobs. I spent 5 years in labor delivery at one hospital here in Memphis and thought I needed a change. So I went to an office setting in cardiology for about 5 months. I missed labor and delivery so bad and working with my mamas and the babies. And so I'm actually back in labor and delivery now, working back at the bedside. I love nursing. It is very rewarding. It is an outlet for me at the end of each day to be able to go home and pick up that guitar and disconnect from everyone and everything else and just be with that music. So it doesn't relate to nursing at all, and it's a whole different side of me, and it just makes my life more special because I do have both of those things that give me so much spiritually. Video time! Will we take a selfie? Today, we are shooting a music video for Cold Blooded Killer, which was actually a bonus track on my solo acoustic EP I put out last year. Edward Balabas, who directed both my PBR song and my Rock Me Slow music videos, approached me about doing this. He said, hey, when we were exploring which song to do a video for on After It's Said and Done, this one really stuck out to me, but it was a bonus track, and I can't really stop thinking about doing something with it. Would you be interested in doing another video? And of course I'm like, yeah.
Creep up like a crocodile, slither like a snake. On the hunt to find a man and take all I can take. Sit him down, chat him up, let him buy me a drink. But I'm a big bad wolf, all done up like a sheep. You see a hot-blooded woman breaking all the rules. But I'm a cold-blooded killer preying on a foe. I'm not taking this. I'm not gonna be that chick to always give you some. This isn't a relationship. I won't take this anymore. Won't walk right out of my door. Baby, I know you've done me wrong. It's okay, I'm moving on. Won't take this anymore. Won't walk right out of my door. Baby, I know you've done me wrong. It's okay, I'm moving on.
DJ Bay Radio Show. We got Kia Johnson here with us. She's been all over the place since then.
Just a little bit.
So take us back to the beginning.
The beginning?
Yes.
Oh, no. Let's not go back to the beginning.
How did singing become? How did you start?
That's the thing though, babe. Like, I don't have a moment of, it's just always been who I am. You know what I mean? According to her, like, I started singing and talking around the same time. We were living in Japan and gospel concerts, you know, and it was an adult choir. And so my parents went to choir, so of course I'm at every rehearsal with them, learning all the songs, directing them from the pew. And I told them I wanted to audition for a song. I'm 7. And they were like, okay, sweetie, you know, we'll ask him if he'll, you know, humor you in audition. And he let me audition. And he put me on the stage with the adults to lead a song. And at that moment, I remember that. And mind you, we're living in Japan, so the audience is completely Japanese. They don't speak English. Couple thousand people in the auditorium. At that moment, I saw how music connected to people, even if they couldn't understand what you were saying. And at that moment, now that I remember saying, I want to do this. If I can do something that connects with people, even if they don't exactly understand what I'm saying, but they know my heart and they can feel my intent, then that's what I want to be a part of. You know, I'm always singing. I was singing in the church, doing different things, and then I got into cover bands. And I was like, oh, wow, here's this little side hustle, make a little money, whatever. But it wasn't like a conscious decision, I am going to be a singer. It was just kind of like, I'll do this while I'm trying to make something happen on the career side. I don't think at that moment I thought you could do it full time. There's been a lot of good things going on, a lot of good movement. Full-time musician, singer in the city. So
no job anymore.
This is a job. This is a job.
Clap it up.
You know what I'm talking about?
Clap it up. Yeah. American Idol.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
I went.
You went.
I went, I saw, I conquered her back. The first year I made it to top 50, and that's when the audition was shown, and that's where all the hype came. And then the next year, I made like top 100. And then you go, and then you go, and then you go, and it's like, oh crap, I'm going to Hollywood, and I'm grown, I have a job. And they saying, we don't know how long you're going to be out here, what you going to do. Call in sick for a week, and then figure it out. So, I mean, I left jobs, like with benefits, for this type of stuff. So yeah, I feel some type of way about it, you know what I mean? Here's the thing. It's a television show about talent. It's not for talent. But I didn't know it at the time. So you really think, like, this is my one ticket out, like my one chance. You're putting everything in that, and then when it doesn't happen, you're crushed, you know? And I did that 3 times.
So that's a little bravery within you, though.
Yeah.
And some resiliency, too. That says a lot about who you are.
I was thinking crazy.
A little
off.
But it's a good off, because that's most creative and talented people, they're always crazy.
Now I wanted to quit. I ain't gonna front. I wanted to quit. Like, it was too much for me at certain points. But then God would send little angels to say, if you had given yourself the gift, you could quit. But the gift was given to you, so you don't have a choice.
Oh my God.
That's how, baby, that's how it hit me. Like, and I was like, oh, okay then. I don't have a choice. Then the LGW right here. A new day is on the horizon. I must have a school to teach it.
And then the raps are coming out.
Yep. Before the pharmacy. I'm in a production right now, which is an original production. It's really, really special. You know, the music is amazing, and we're touching people. I mean, people left. We just had a show. They're talking about coming back tomorrow, and it's like, wow, I didn't know that musicals and acting could do it's almost the exact same thing. I know it sounds green, but I didn't until I became a part of it.
I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous. So, now I just start sweating. I'm hot now, God.
I'm sharing this, right? I just found out she's going to be opening up for Justin Timberlake, singing "Cry Me a Freaking River."
Cry Me a River, for
I
real.
know "Cry Me a River" though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how'd you get that? How was that?
Man, it was just a blessing. I mean, I think that people are starting to recognize the work, you know, that we're doing. And I got a call. I was available.
You actually did the Justin Timberlake song for Justin Timberlake at the Hall of Fame this year. Yeah, so that was an awesome thing.
It was huge.
Got a lot of press on that. I was so surprised.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So I am actually getting ready to embark upon a different type of journey that I'm really excited about, where I'll be on a cruise line singing as an entertainer there, but we'll be overseas.
For all you artists, engineers, or anyone in this music industry, you have to remember, your talent gets you in the door, but your attitude keeps you in the door.
And I would say have fun with it because at the end of the day, that's probably the biggest reward you'll get from it. It's really hard to make money from music these days.
Try to write the songs that's gonna be redone, re-recorded. Songs are gonna mean so much to somebody else is gonna want to pick it up.
I think if the artistic community really had a chance to be solely artistic, then, you know, I mean, you will see some amazing things, you know, come out of it. But that grit and grind, you know, serves its purpose because that's what really makes people.
Memphis has always been a huge hotbed of talent. You know, Memphis is lacking in sort of industry support, but there's just amazing gobs of talent.
There's a soulfulness that we have here in Memphis, Tennessee that can't be duplicated. It's different from Motown. It was different from Philadelphia International. It was just a raw, natural, when you hear it, I gotcha kind of spirit.
But the thing to focus on is who are you? Whose are you? And what are you trying to say?
She said, come with me, I'll take you there. So high, it's like we're flying through the...
Growing up, I always thought that it would be really amazing to travel the world doing what I love to do, singing, music, connecting with people. It's kind of nice sitting here back in Memphis knowing that I just traveled the world doing exactly what I love to do.
She said, I'll be the best friend that you've ever had.
And there's nothing left to say, so just walk out the door and go lay in the bed you made. Oh, 'cause you laid up in someone else's bed. What you gave up, you gotta be messed up in your head to go and walk out on me. I think I'll set you free, so go do you, baby, it's all cool. 'Cause now you're just a laid up fool. Now you're just a laid up fool. Now you're just a laid up fool. Oh, baby, you're a laid up fool. Yeah, 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 you're a laid up.
I am an artist and I'm an artistic and creative individual, but I've had to be a performer. I've had to meet the needs and the requirements of the different bands that I've been in. So now I've decided, you know, I guess over the past year or so, like now I'm going to be Kendall. And what I am exactly, you know, it's a balance of and a conglomerate of all these bands that I'm in. How do I combine all of them in this pretty package that makes sense? It's not something that's like kind of thrown together. To me, it's all about my voice. I want my voice to be heard, and not just the melodies I'm singing, you know, or the words that I'm singing. I want like my message to be conveyed. When I'm performing, I look at people and I make sure that they are seen, because so many people go through life feeling like they aren't seen. I want them to walk away feeling like I have been seen. I have someone who is here with me, you know, which that's not so much on the music side of things. That's kind of in the voice, in the message that I'm trying to convey. But at the same time, that's very important.
I have been recording, actually, almost just right after the release, just started recording and writing again. Kind of, I think that momentum of releasing that first big record, that momentum and the reception that I received from that was very positive.
Thank you so much, Play Out. I'm gonna get a drink now.
I think I've finally found that blend of jazz, pop, and soul. I mean, I guess you could say is somewhat avant-garde for here. I'm not your typical blues band or jazz. I'm not even a typical jazz guy either.
Thank you so much.
It's been my lifelong dream to be a Herbie Hancock or a Dave Brubeck, but I finally realized that not going to be that, and I'm okay with that. Stick to what you're good at is what I've learned. I try to make things slightly different each time, in which this new record I think is going to show some maturity, not only lyrically but musically.
Through all my sorrows, till I nearly drowned.
So when people ask me, well, so if the music kicks off, are you just gonna leave nursing? I mean, I guess if I had to, but because music is my dream and my passion, but nursing does something for me that nothing else ever will. It does something for me that I can't do for myself because it's not self-serving. And I think that there would be a hole in me if I left that. So when people ask me that, I think I always want to be a nurse and a musician, because you just can't get back what you get from giving to other people with anything else you do.
Songs in the dark I learned from my mom.
Although we've been told we sound pessimistic, the optimism is we're still moving forward. We're like a train and we're moving through all types of weather. And on a track, there's ice, there's sticks and trees and everything that's slowing the train down. We're gonna keep moving forward. What we talk about are that we are aware of the obstacles. We are aware of what's falling on the tracks, what is trying to slow us down. A lot of times what happens is people aren't aware of those things, or they pretend to be blind to it. If you know it's there, you can decide, okay, do I charge through it and try to bust through it, or do I figure out a way to go around it? So that's where we remain hopeful.
So do you feel that you're on the verge of something?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I'm on the verge of getting the right counsel now. So the last 4 or 5 years was me testing stuff out. The last 2 years has been me like fine tuning, and the last year and a half going on 2 years has really been me pushing as hard as I can. And now it's time to connect with other either more powerful minds who understand the business slightly better than me. So management, publishing deals, like I'm on the brink of that. And then after the people get into place and the deals get into place, then it's another level and another, so that's where I feel like I'm at.
As you get older, as we all get older, your dreams don't change, I hope. I hope that they stay the same, but your dreams and your aspirations as a musician and an artist, the more you learn, the more you realize that there's a more specific place you can go, rather than just saying that you want to play on gigantic stages in front of 100,000 people. It was my honor to introduce to you some of the biggest and brightest future stars in music and the arts from Memphis, Tennessee. But hey, we're just getting started, so I'll see you next time on The Verge.
At the end of the day, you'll always be there to hold my hand and watch while I stare into your eyes and love you without a word. And we'll be thankful for another setting sun. We'll drink wine for the battles we've won. I'll beg your forgiveness for everything bad I've done. Baby, life is so much better when you don't focus on the funk, but on the fun. So let's be glad for the things that we've got and not be sad for the things we have not. I'll be your rocket and I'll be your launching pad. I'll be in love with you forever. Just sit back, enjoy our lives, and let's be glad. Let's take a walk in the dark and remind our spark that we've been given it the fuel that it must have. And when we're 81 and still having fun, I'd love to see your scantily clad, babe. I'll dance around in my underwear as long as you will say not bad. I'll make a fool out of myself with my condition, on a mission to make you glad, yeah. So let's be glad for the things that we've got and not be sad for the things we have not. I'll be your rocket and I'll be your launching pad, yeah. I'll be in love with you forever. Just sit back, enjoy our lives, and let's be glad for the things that we got and not be sad. Not be sad, yeah. I'll be your rocket. I'll be your rocket. I'll be your launching pad. I'll be in love with you forever. I'll be in love with you forever. I'll be in love with you forever. Just sit back, enjoy our lives, and let's be glad. Hey.